Y'all, the streets are saying Anthony Edwards notified a judge that he wants to pay 18 years of child support up front, over $1 million, basically because he never wants to deal with this woman or her child ever again. And people have mixed feelings about it. Some people are saying it's a smart business move, which it is, because then they never have to have any disputes about how much money he's making in the future, if he gets a raise, if he signs a new contract, whatever. They never have to deal with any child support disputes ever again, and the child support is based on his current salary. However, people are also saying that he's so wrong for that, not wanting to deal with his child. Some people are saying, well, duh, he told her not to have the kid, to have an abortion. He doesn't want to have a kid with her, and she had the kid anyways. I have an interesting perspective, or should I say opinion. I feel like she's to blame for the fact that why would you even sleep with a man who has had that many babies in the span of a year and is in a relationship? Girl, what? But also, why would you shouldn't have unprotected you know what with somebody you don't want to have a child with. That is the risk you're taking. I know this generation wants to believe is a little less serious than that. It's not. She responded to people calling her a gold digger and said, are you digging for poverty when you slept with your broke baby daddy? Which was a read, by the way. She clocked y'all. Not me. Y'all stay safe. But Anthony Edwards had 2 children in 2023 and 2 children in 2024 by 4 different women. And he's 23 years old. Do you think you would have slept with a broke man who had that resume? Hell no. But at the same time, you got to call a spade a spade. You can't just be putting babies in people and expecting them to have an abortion. Not everybody's comfortable or wants to do that shit, especially when you got all that money. Third person I'm looking at sideways is his current girlfriend. Because baby. Now, you got to be a little lenient on her because she was pregnant for most of it and then now she's a postpartum mother. But baby, free yourself. If you want some money, write a book. You're watching him pay 18 years of child support up front so that he can ignore one of your child's siblings. How are y'all going to explain this? Messy.
Anthony Edwards really said, look here, let's get down to the nitty gritty of why we here. How much is it going to cost me to pay my 18 years of child support up front? That is one of the most unhinged things I've ever heard of. Who would think of some shit like that? He dead ass wrong. He knew laying down with this lady and not pulling out could create a baby. 1 + 1 = 3. We learned that in grade school. We learned that in grade school. Now, she also knew the situation she was putting that baby in. That man told her he didn't want that baby. Nothing to do with it. The baby the only one innocent at this point. The baby the only one innocent.
And how true do you think it is that the judge is going to let Anthony Edwards pay 18 years of child support up front? I'm only wondering this because child support is based off of your income. And considering you don't know how his income will change, now it may increase, it may decrease. So it could be, a steal. Or she could just end up, biting herself in the ass. So did he really already pay it? Or is the judge considering letting him pay it? I just want to know how that's going to work. And how true do you think it is that the judge is going to let Anthony Edwards pay 18 years of child support up front?
Anthony Edwards said, let me cash y'all out for 18 years right now. Let me pay 216 months of child support today, and that's it. I don't want to pay nothing else. That's it. That shit is crazy. Sad part about it is the only person that is going to suffer in all of this is the kid. And I say that to say is, as human beings, people need to start making better choices, man. What him and Shorty got to remember is that baby ain't asked to be here, man. It's going to be a lot of people that say they understand where he coming from. It's going to be a lot of people that say they understand where she coming from. But who can understand the baby? The baby is going to suffer. Anthony Edwards said, I don't care about nothing. I don't want to be involved. I don't want to do nothing. I just want to pay the money that I owe and go ahead on with my life. And anybody that know child support wicked. Anthony Edwards fuck around and pay that, and they lock him up for paying that. Shit is crazy. Just imagine he was paying her $10K, $20K a month. Let's just say $20K a month. $20K a month times 216 months, that's 18 years, is $4,320,000 that he ready to pay right now if his payments was $20K a month. That boy said, get out of my head now. I gotta make better decisions, man. Pay attention. Anthony Edwards said, let me cash y'all out for 18 years right now. Let me pay
How is this a problem? For all parties involved, how is this an actual problem? He despises the mother. He wants nothing to do with child. And since the World Wide Web is calling her a gold digger, she gets 18 years in advance, up front. How is this a problem? I wouldn't even call this petty. How is this a problem? My whole position, if a man tells you he doesn't want to have a kid with you and you proceed to have a kid, that's on you. That's on you. When he took it a step up and said, I'm going to sign paperwork, I want nothing to do with said child. Again, I'm going to respect it. He said he didn't want a kid with you, even though he laid down and did what he did. So let's keep up. Now, he's possibly taking it even further now by saying, listen, I'm going to give you 18 years up front because I want nothing to do with you or that child. Again, how is this a problem? I find it hard to believe that most of the women that are online appalled by this, you have multiple children with a man who isn't giving you $1, even though he laid down and planned that kid with you. You got to beg him to see your kid. And then when he comes around your kid, he treats it like he doesn't even want to see it. Doesn't call, doesn't follow up, no doctor appointments. He doesn't care what's going on in the kid's life. I don't see an issue with him not only verbalizing that he doesn't want to be in that child's life, he put it on paper. And even though he wants nothing to do with that child, guess what? He's still ensuring that financially the child isn't lacking, but he still wants no parts. How is this a problem for anyone? How is this a problem? I look at it as the way he despises this mother, it's best he stays out of that child's life. He's not going to add any balance to her life. He's not going to add any value to her life besides monetary. And he doesn't have to be in her life to do that. And we all know that. So again, how is this a problem? No matter how you want to pose this online, he is still a lot better than many of you deadbeats that make children, know you can't afford them, and continue to create life. And then blame the baby mother for you not seeing the kid when you know good and well you don't want the kid. Again, how is this a problem? If she's a gold digger, so be it. She's about to get $2 million up front. What is the problem? He wants nothing to do with the kid. That's signed off. He got paperwork for that now. How is this a problem? The kid doesn't have to be traumatized by being around a father that does not love her. What is the problem? No one can make me see this as a bad thing. I don't see this as a bad thing. Everyone wins here. Everyone is getting exactly what they want. I'm happy for the whole team. Now, there are many lessons to take away from this. One, when it comes on to men in positions such as him, they would rather pay you for you to take care of your child on your own than be your child's life. Women, take this as a learning point. Also, I see a lot of men stitching these videos and creating their own videos and not only agreeing with what he's doing, but stating they want to get rich so they can do the very same things. Be careful who you create life with. And again, my position is if you have a kid for a man who verbalizes that he doesn't want to have said kid with you, probably don't sleep with him. However, since we're past that now, but pay attention. These men not only do not want to be in your child's life, if they had enough money, it would be you and that kid, and they will pay to get rid of you. So I don't think she's fully wrong for just taking the money and going. They're two adults, two consenting adults, and from what we all know about this guy, he does this multiple times a year. So I don't see what the issue is. It costs. He should know. He has multiple children by multiple women a year. It costs to get these women out of your life. Everyone is winning here. Money is nothing to him. I guarantee you he's going to do this again. Because women are not going to learn. He's going to do this again. But like I said, everyone wins. If she wanted to pay out, guess what? She got it. And the baby is safe from being traumatized by a man who does not love her. Because contrary to popular belief, fathers who do not love their children cause way more harm than they do good. Think about that.
Now, this request may or may not be approved because child support is based on your current income, and we are all aware that his income is going to drastically change within the next year or two. And I don't want this to go unnoticed. It may be best that he's not in that child's life. The level that he despises that mother, it may be safer for the child he's not there. It may be safer he's not in her life. To me, he may cause her more trauma by actually coming around her. His absence, yes, it will be felt, but I think his present may actually cause her true trauma in the end. Although I do not want it to go unsaid, even though I know a lot of people have been saying it, that she chose to lay down with him. One, he's younger than her, and two, she chose to keep the child even though he said he didn't want to. I don't think anyone has the right to tell someone to possibly risk their life, risk having any more children after them, because you don't want a child, even though you put yourself in a position that 50% out of none, you were going to have a kid. You lay down unprotected. You clearly shot up that woman's club and then told yourself, hey, you know what? Just go get rid of it. She could lose her life. She could run the risk of never having any more children again based off your request. So I'm not going to condone that part of it whatsoever, but it also goes to show his lack of empathy for anyone besides himself and his own pleasures. Let's not lose sight of that. And also, I see a lot of men online praising this behavior. Like, that's how you do it. He's changing the game. This is how you get rid of these baby mothers. No, you can prevent them by protecting yourself. Or, I don't know, being faithful to the woman you say is your girlfriend. Not to mention, you do this multiple times a year. So I don't see the game changer in this. To me, this is just a tragedy move. He's doing this simply based off the fact that he knows his income is going to drastically change in a couple of months. So he's trying to get ahead of the curve and say, you know what? When I start making even more money, I just don't want her to be able to get more money out of me. That's all this is. Everyone's praising him like, oh my goodness, this is a game changer. No, this is a business move. Nothing else. But again, it's a repercussion for his actions. I can't imagine what his child support payments look like for all the children he has. Not to mention, I'm sure there are probably more we don't even know about. Like, where is his accountant? Where are the people managing him? Because I know he is young. Someone really needs to step in and show him how much money he is projected to lose over the years if he continues with this behavior. Men are really online praising him like, yes, this is how you do it. You pay them up front. Let's be clear. This may or may not even be approved, because anyone with any smidget of a brain cell would understand this is just a business move so that when he starts making more money, she can't request more. However, child support is based on your current income, and we all know that that amount is about to change. But where is his team? Someone really needs to sit this kid down and let him know, not only are you costing yourself money, I understand this is pennies to the dime for him or whatever that quote is. It's going to add up. You have what, 4, 5, 6 kids that you're financially responsible for. That adds up. And I just know he's going to do this again. This is not a lesson learned from him. What is he, only 23 years old? He's going to do this again. This will change nothing. He's telling himself he has money and he's going to make even more in the future. Nothing is going to change. And more women are going to do this to him because clearly he has no self-control. It's one thing to tell yourself, yeah, I have money. I can pay for that. I can pay for that. How many times are you going to pay for that? These lessons are going to become very expensive. This is going to start adding up. And like, tell yourself you don't care all you want to. Like, you're going to have to answer to somebody doing all this nonsense. Like, you're literally creating life that you don't want. Kid, get a vasectomy. Do yourself a favor. Save yourself some money. Just snip it. You need it. At this point, where is your team? Who is managing your funds? If anyone is in need of a conservatorship, I would definitely vote for you first. It's you. Like, there's no way this kid, you need a conservatorship at this point. A vast majority of your income is solely going to be used for child support. paying women off so you don't have to raise your children that you insist on creating by not protecting yourself. I don't know, a word to the wise or the people that are on his team, either get this kid a vasectomy or put him in a conservatorship. Because at this point, sooner or later, not even you, your team, you won't even be able to pay your team sooner or later. Like, someone needs to step in here. Seriously. Maybe it's just me, but I couldn't have that type of money and even want to risk laying down with a woman. I wouldn't even look at a woman in this day and age. They sue for anything. But you lay down and literally father the child. You can't even deny it's your child. It's been proven it's yours. The type of risk that these men run, knowing financially it's going to cost you, blows my mind. I wouldn't look at anyone if I had that type of money, let alone lay down with you. No one will own me like that. And this is another case in point that men do what they want in the moment and will pay for the repercussions thereafter. I've heard that he even has a girlfriend that was either pregnant at the same time or just recently had a baby as well. So he cheats, he makes babies outside of you, pays the other woman off so he doesn't have to deal with the child. I hope she doesn't feel like she's safe in any round, but I'm sure she's playing the same position as the baby mom. It's all about the money, right? Like, no matter how this goes. No one can convince me you stay with a man knowing he just had a baby with someone else. You are in it for the money as well. So whether you call her the girlfriend or the other baby mother, they're one and the same thing to me. The one and the same. The only thing is you signed up to do this on a longer stretch or however long he chooses to put up with you for. But they're one and the same. You're both in it for the money, which again, I'm not downplaying you with that because I'm not the woman that will ever advise a woman to have a baby with a man who can't afford to take care of the baby. So, just like Ayesha said, when you were having your baby, were you digging for poverty? I'm not advising any woman to have no kid with no man who can't afford it. So, when I say the baby mother and the girlfriend are one and the same, you're both in it for the money. And it's no disrespect because, again, if you're going to rent out your wounds and possibly risk your life to give birth to a child, you better make sure there's some money in it for you and that child. Call them anything you want to call them. Call me anything you want to call me. But I'm not advising anyone to have a baby by a man who can't afford to take care of them. So I'll stay tuned to find out if this is if this is fake news or real news, but also if this is something that the judge does approve. But honestly, I don't see this as something that's going to be approved because, again, child support is based off your current income. So it may or may not even be approved. But either way, it was entertaining to talk about, and it was also another good way of seeing what these men really think about women and, when they get you pregnant on purpose.